Hey everybody, welcome to SDN10city Fantasy Football. I'm Mark, and as always, we have the lovely Stella behind the camera and working the controls. And we just wanted to come on and make a short video about week 6 and the week that was. And we're going to talk about some hot topics and some things that happened during this week of exciting NFL action. How about Derrick Henry, King Henry, popping off in PPR leagues for almost 41 points. Can you believe it? That saying, a man amongst men, has never held more true than for Derrick Henry. He is out there. He had the big stiff arm last week. He had a couple of big runs this week, and 41 PPR points. That is absolutely incredible, and congratulations to Derrick Henry. I made a video and posted it to YouTube. We couldn't quite get it translated over to Instagram. If you want to make your way over to YouTube and see what I said, I had mentioned, I was talking over on YouTube about some people that if you were struggling to find people on your waiver wire, if you needed some people to fill in for a week, I listed a few folks. One of those people was Keelan Cole, wide receiver from the Jaguars. I thought he would be a good 1 week fill in for you just because of Laviska Shenault Jr. and I think, what was his name? DJ Chark. They were both coming into the game a little bit nicked up. And of course, Keelan Cole came through with 20 big points this week. It was very good. Yep. Great performance by him. Didn't make it into the end zone, but did in PPR leagues, did get almost 21 points. The next person I had brought up was Travis Fulgham, the wide receiver from the Philadelphia Eagles. Travis Fulgham had 19.5 PPR points, had a really good week, found his way into the end zone. It looks like him and Carson Wentz have come up with some real good synergy there. The energy is good between those guys. Carson is always looking for him, and I think he's the one to keep in leagues. I think that you could at least have him rostered, if not starting. I think he's a viable choice and not matchup proof, but I think that it would be worth it for you to roster Travis Fulgham and take a look at the matchups. I mean, he did 19.5 points today against a very, very good Baltimore Raven defense. That was very impressive. So that was Travis Fulgham. The next person I wanted to talk about was Chase Claypool. I thought Chase Claypool was an interesting player in the fact that he broke out like it. For me, it seemed like out of nowhere with those 42 points last week. I've been playing fantasy football for quite a long time, and I've seen it time and time again where these players have these big weeks and you never hear from them again. I don't think that's going to be the case with Chase Claypool. It looks like that he's around. He's going to be around for a while. It looks like that Big Ben is targeting him, and it looks like that he's going to be heavily involved in the game plans going forward. Chase Claypool is another one to look at too. Another player that I had listed, we don't know how he will do since he's playing on Monday night, but Christian Kirk. I know that teams are starting to catch on to, Kyler Murray and DeAndre Hopkins getting the ball every other drop back, and I think that the Cardinals are learning that they're going to have to start spreading that ball out. And Christian Kirk, over the weeks, if you look at his game log, has been becoming more and more involved in the offense. And I think that since they're playing Dallas tomorrow, I think it should be a high-scoring affair. And look for Christian Kirk to maybe get up into that 19 to 20-point range for you tomorrow as well. What else do we have, Stella?
Wow, you know what? It was really exciting to see these plays that were taking place. There were a couple of them that stuck out, and I'm just trying to remember who took that ball, and it was on the Titans, and it was out of this world. Do you remember what I'm talking about? I want to say it was that last touchdown that Tannehill threw.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, that was pretty intense.
Yeah, I think the gentleman's name was A.J. Brown.
Right.
Yeah, the wide receiver from Tennessee. Tannehill, and Ryan Tannehill had himself a good game too.
Yes, he did.
31 fantasy points in PPR leagues. That was really nice to see. He had in the first quarter, I think he had 3 touchdown passes in that first quarter. That was crazy. And then that wild catch, the toe tap, it looked like the toe had just barely made it before the gentleman flew out of
Yeah.
bounds, and what a touchdown grab that was. So, I mean, Tennessee right now, they're rolling.
Oh
I
yeah.
know that over the years that the Titans haven't necessarily been known for their offense, but they're turning some heads now, I believe, in the National Football League.
Mm-hmm.
They've got that wonderful running attack with Derrick Henry, and they also have some nice receivers too. And Ryan Tannehill, I remember when he was with Miami, he was not very good, and all of a sudden it was like he went to Tennessee and woke up, and now he's balling out. So
Oh
very
yes.
nice to see for him. Congratulations to Ryan Tannehill.
Absolutely. I think the Titans stood out as the team to beat, especially with Henry and Tannehill. That was just out of control today. I hope we see more of that from them, that they can stay consistent
Absolutely.
going forward for the rest of the weeks for the
Nice
season.
balanced attack.
Mm-hmm.
It's nice to see too because their coach Mike Vrabel, he's a defensive guy, and I know that he would lean towards the defensive side of the ball. It's nice to see that that team is clicking on all cylinders.
Absolutely. And it'll be interesting to see when they come and meet up with, other teams like the Seahawks, because
Right.
we like the Seahawks.
Right.
The Chiefs. It's going to be interesting to see because they definitely have their groups dialed in. I mean, we're seeing some of these teams that still look like they're trying to figure it out, and we're going into week 7. So it's a
Absolutely.
little scary. I mean, we know there's new people, there's been COVID scares, there's been injuries, and so some of the teams don't quite look like they have it together yet. Although today, Philip Rivers looks like he was like, "Hello, I'm here, folks. Let's do this thing."
341 yards. They were behind big early, and
That was huge.
they sure did come marching back, and that was nice to see Philip getting back on the right track.
And it was kind of cool to watch the veteran and the noob between him and Joe Burrow, just to see their styles and how they were handling the pressure of pushing back on each other. And so I think Philip definitely rose to the occasion and wanted to let everybody know Philip Rivers ain't going nowhere.
Absolutely. So we're going to have a next week coming up after this week ends. Remember, guys, we have 2 Monday night games. We've got Kansas City and Buffalo, and then in the regular 5 o'clock slot out here on the West Coast, we have...
The best coast?
Yep. We have Arizona and Dallas. Look for Amari Cooper in that matchup, and Christian Kirk, battling out. We'll see how they can do. That first game, the Kansas City Buffalo game, will be at 2 o'clock here out on the West Coast. So that's a nice treat for us to have football on a Monday that
Absolutely.
early. And telework tomorrow, so I'll be able to watch that watch that game, which is exciting for me.
Yeah.
After this week ends in the National Football League, later on next week, be looking for my video. We'll talk about week 7. If there is a specific player or a topic that you would like me to cover, please leave it in the comments, and I'll go ahead and do my research, and we'll talk that up. If you guys have trades that you're looking to make, if you've been sent a trade and you're trying to evaluate it, looking for people on the waiver wire, or just looking to optimize your lineup, go ahead and pop those questions and comments and deals into the comments, and we'll go ahead and I'll get that talked about and see what the best course of action would be for you to take on your way to a fantasy victory. It looks like I'm ahead by 57 points. My opponent has Patrick Mahomes to play tomorrow. I have Amari Cooper and Christian Kirk. So it looks like I'm on my way to a victory, another 6-0. I don't believe, I was trying to think back, and in all the years that I played fantasy, I don't think I've ever started a season with 6 wins. So very exciting, and I'll have a
Absolutely.
tough opponent to play next week. I believe it's the 3rd place team in our league. So
But you know
very
what? You made
exciting
it through
for
the
me.
bye week. That
Right.
was the thing.
Yeah, and that was another thing too. In case you didn't watch my other video, I have a lot of players on bye this week. I had Tyler Lockett, I've got DK Metcalf, I've got Josh Jacobs, I've got Chris Carson. What a nightmare! I had Dalvin Cook injured. They held him out of the game today against the Atlanta Falcons. That was. So that it was hard to navigate through that mess. Hunter Henry I had on a bye too. So I looks like I did just enough to win. and I had to do some real fantasy football gymnastics and acrobatics, but looks like we made it 6-0, and we're looking for that big 7th win. In the league that I play in, we play 13 regular season games, and the last 3 weeks we use for the playoffs, and usually 7 wins will get you in. 6 is kind of like right on the border, but if you have 7 wins, the last 3 years I've been in this league, it's guaranteed to get you in the playoffs. So looking for that big 7th win. That was my first goal of this 2020 season. I wanted to be in the playoffs because you can't win the championship unless you make the playoffs first. So first goal of mine, make the playoffs, and then look to do some damage. Try to get that big first round bye, watch all the other teams duke it out, and then come in and try to swoop in and get the money and the trophy.
Yes. You've got this.
Thank you for tuning in. Thank you for all the support for the channel. I just recently went over 100 subscribers. It's very, very humbling to me that you guys are finding me organically and liking the videos, watching them and everything. I hope that I can help in some way. I want to see you guys win. I want to see you guys, I want to hear those stories about you taking home the trophy and bringing home the big bucks on this fantasy football stuff. I'd like to be a part of your journey too. So I wish you guys the best of luck, and enjoy the rest of the game tonight. Looks like 21-9 right now. San Francisco's up, and enjoy the games tomorrow, and we'll look forward to a big week 7 in the National Football League. Again, this is Mark from SDN10city Fantasy Football, along here with Stella, signing off for this week. Thank you for your support.